Welcome to the 21-day Black Night Inspiration Challenge. I'm Vincent McMahon and I'm going to be your guide for the next 21 days. I'm really excited. Can't believe it. We have men from all around the world joining us on this challenge. Australia, America, Europe. It's just incredible. It's really incredible to me and a real honor. So the challenge actually is for you to commit 25 minutes, maximum 25 minutes every day to yourself. That's the challenge, you know. And men, we like a challenge. So each day I'm going to send you a video about what it is to be a Black Knight, okay? And also you'll get a meditation and a journaling prompt, something to journal in, something prompt you to put into your journal, a question, just to get your awareness going as well. Because the videos will give you the understanding, but then you need an action, you need an implementation. So the journal or a meditation will give you an action to do that will begin to embody the Black Knight. So any questions during the 21 days, just email me, okay? Please email me. Right, so let's get started. So what I want to talk about just today is to frame Black Knight. Where is it? You know, where does he exist in the frame of life? Okay, and if we start with society's frame. So in society's frame, if we're honest about it, society frames life in two halves. You know, it's like first half of life and second half of life. That's the way we see it. And you have a midlife bit in the middle, and you head into the second half. And if we feel into it, if we actually feel into what happens during those two stages, the first half, we kind of feel we're making progress up to that midlife bit. And then the second half, we kind of feel that there's a descent, you know? Like society doesn't really give us anything after the first half, apart from, you know, a biological descent. It just says, well, you finished, like that's the first half. And so just be honest, like what's your frame? What's your view of life? Is it the societal frame? And to a certain extent, we have a kind of that Western view, which is a kind of almost like an adolescent frame on it, which frames it all around the first half. There's not a lot of signposts to what to do after the midlife. So I got to my mid-40s. I had the house, the job, great job in IT, the house, a gorgeous wife, children, house in the countryside. And I went, I'm not at the pinnacle of the mountain that society has told me. I don't feel that I'm at the top of this mountain, that I feel amazingly happy and I have all meaning and I have because society, it doesn't really give you any signposts at that point. It just says, no, do all these things and you'll get happy. You find out, no, I'm for some people it works, but a whole tranche of people it doesn't work for. So what I found in that part of that midlife crisis was I found that actually there are three stages. Our psyche, forget about society, our psyche has three stages to our life. And the first stage, I'll call White Knight. I like the mythological, to use the knights, they work mythologically and they take us outside our normal existence, which is very important. So White Knight is the years that we're naive, the world is a magical world. We can spend hours in different places. Like I would have spent on the riverbank when I was out fishing with my family. I would have spent hours in the hedgerows or looking into the water, at the fish and the weeds and all the things. I would just be gone for hours. And then I'd be called back in the evening time, when the sun was going down, we had to go home. So that's White Knight. You're just out and the world is just this magical playground. You spend hours, you're naive, and that's why it's white. It's pure naivety. Then what happens is, the second stage is red night. And red night is where the world becomes choices. Do I go to college? Do I get a job? Do I get married? Do I live in the same location? There's all these choices. The world becomes complex. So red night is in this complex world of slaying dragons, paying bills, mortgages, marriage, kids. It's all these things that is a normal part of life, of the trajectory of life, where you've developed your independence, you've developed an independent life, and you get together with all these choices and complexity. Now, at a certain point, red night, it just becomes exhausting. You've done all the things society has said. You've got the house, you've got everything. You've done all the things. And as I said, in my own life, it's like, okay, so what do I do now? I felt in my 40s like I have a huge amount more energy in the tank, and yet society has given me no signposts. What do I do with all this? But I did feel exhausted. I felt it had worn me. All the choices, getting all the things together, just another project, more things. I ended up suffering from depression. So red night, if you continue red night too much, it begins to have effects, because it just wears you down without having something else. So our psyche knows there's a third stage though, and the third stage is black night. And black night is incredible, because black night is where you take the natural. You were just naturally happy. You're full of energy as a white knight. The world was your playground. So you take this natural energy of the white knight, plus your life experience as a red knight, all your warrior stripes from all the challenges that you made it through. These are really important. You take all that red night life experience, all those juicy bits from your life, those moments of initiation that we've all been through in our lives, and you add the two together, and you shoot into black night. You become an accumulation of your life experience, and you then become actually conscious. So the difference is, as white knight, you were actually unconscious. You were in the, as I said, I was on the riverbank, but I wasn't conscious I was there. I was just like in the hedgerows, with the fishes and all. I didn't really know I was there. Red night as well. Red night's actually unconscious, because when you're in choices, in the complexity of, do I go to college? It's like Hamlet, to be or not to be. And that means once you have choices, your psyche fragments and you're unconscious. So people would say, I don't remember the last 50 years. I don't remember the last whatever number of years. And the reason is because they were unconscious for it. So black night actually is a point where you can be conscious. You can actually go, I take my white night, I take my red night, and now how do I live in the world? And that's why a lot of you are on, for me, the 21 days. Like, you're looking for something. Okay, so what is there? I've done all the things of whatever. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm a bit lost, I'm stuck, I'm whatever. Yeah, there's something, yeah. And this is what your psyche is telling you. It's black night. And so you get a booster, you get a booster rocket of energy when you integrate these together, and you find out, wow, this is me. This is the unique me. I've got a whole bag of energy that I haven't accessed because I left it behind and I ran into red night. That the world is red night, and I've got all my life experience, and now I get to live as me, as that unique me. And so we talk about that over the 21 days. So this is just day one. Just getting a frame on where black night sits into our life journey, that there is this third stage. And there's loads of references to it in the literature and around the world. Cultures Indigenous cultures all see the third stage as vital. They see. I mean, I lived with a tribe in Indonesia. The elders are they're like children, but they've got like the life experience. So they join a whole lot together. But they play and they're joking and laughing. It's amazing. They have that full, complete person. And the elders are black knights, they really are. When you sit in circle with them, they really are black knights. So I will give across the 21 days a different references to these 3 stages so that you understand it's not just white knight, red knight, black knight. There are other ways of describing it, but they both have the three stages. They don't go with 2 stages. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to our psyche. And we know inside like I did, I had so much more in my tank. I was like, what? I don't feel any of this. I don't feel what society is saying, but yet society wasn't giving me any more signposts. So what I want you to do today from this frame is to just go across your life, and just think about when you were white knight in your life. When was that? Think about red knight, what you did in your life as a red knight, out in the world, slaying the dragons. What were those dragons, What did you do as that independent life, and the complexity and the choices you had to make? And then look and see, where are you? Where do you think you are at the moment? So, are you still red knight? Is it beginning to form a little bit, tiring, or you get stuck, or you don't see a next, whereabouts are you? You might want to draw it and put a little point on it in your journal where you are. Are you a black knight? Could already be a black knight. Are you on the point of transition? So there is a transition point, and it can be difficult for people to just make that transition to black knight. Some people go backwards. They go back into red knight. They get a faster car, another wife, they go a different job. They try and go back into red knight, get more energy out of red knight. It doesn't work. You need, your psyche knows, you need to evolve. You need to move into black knight. And so it's just to make that transition across can be tricky, but it's very, very doable. And as I say, your psyche wants you to do it, so your psyche will give you all the impetus. Now, they could be challenges, but they will be ways of getting across that into black knight. And that's what we're going to do across the 21 days. So you're going to get a chance to practice black knight, understand the dynamics, and practice black knight. So I'm going to give you, each day you get a video, and then you'll also get something to do. So either meditation or a journal prompt to get you into beginning to do an action for black knight and understand what black knight is. So that's today. As I say, today's task is just look at your journal and draw and write down your life and where you think you are at the moment. Very simple start today, day 1. If you're not sure of anything, then just email me. And I'll see you tomorrow.